I'm here with Gabe and Ben. This is Gabe.
Hi, I'm Albert.
And this is Ben.
Bob.
And Gabe is trying to help. Albert is trying to help Bob to learn how to make a knife.
It's actually a spearhead, but...
That's cool. Good morning, Earthlings. Well, nobody could be more proud of their sons than me. I've got 4 of them, and a daughter, and I couldn't be more proud of my sons. They're upstanding, good, kind human beings most of the time. Anyway, I had a chance to go hang out with them over at Gabe's house, and they were making blades. Why don't you come and check it out? It was kind of fun. The music underneath is Gabe's song, Staggers On. He only gave me 1 recording. That was it. I'm here with my sons. This is Ben, and this is Gabe. I have big boy sons.
Oh, okay.
And we're hanging out at Gabe's place here where he's making knives.
Yeah.
And he's teaching his brother how to make knives.
I think I can figure that out.
And they got metal and they're doing stuff.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Well, we're using this little device right here. It's got a tiny little nail right there. And so we use that and we scribe. This is called the scribe. Scriber?
I don't know what it's called. It's a thing.
It's called scribing.
So we're using just layout fluid. The idea behind this blade is that we're going to scribe the ends and the sides there exactly halfway down, so that when we do go to grinding, you don't go too far and it can be wonky. But more than that, it gives us a point at which to stop when we're grinding, so that when we go through the heat treat portion, we don't grind so much off that it will have a tendency to flex or warp or crack.
So the idea behind this is very simple. You have a surface, you paint over the surface. There's a specific paint for this. And then you have this little scribe. There's different scribes for different materials. This one works fine for metal. And then you scribe from one side, then you scribe on the other side, and you'll get 2 marks that are the average from both sides. Then if you just go right down the center of those 2 marks, you're right down the center of your material, and this will work for wood, metal, any other basic type of thing where you're trying to find the center of something. It's just one of the simple ways of figuring it out. Now this is going to be a spearhead.
Oh,
This is just going to sit on the end of a spear and just sit there. That's all it's going to do.
Okay.
It's never going to be poking into anything.
Well, I hope you don't poke things in anything with your knives. Okay.
Well, what is the purpose of a knife? It doesn't poke something into something.
I meant,
Is just to scribe a line on a point on an object that is predetermined. Simply put.
So you can see there's now a line down the middle of that. And that's what this looks up close up. You can see there's a tiny little adjustable nail head in there. Little spike. That's what we're using to scribe along the edge.
Oh, okay.
Then we're going to take this over to the grinder. And we're just going to grind right along here. So single pass.
Yeah. Just take it slow, take it easy.
I walk across the forest green and keep my eyes turned down. We're stumbling on the roads of dreams, could ever turn my frown.
Take a look at that. Isn't that a nice little diamond point?
Wow.
On both sides too. I thought I would leave in this kind of scaling because I like the look of that in the middle.
Yeah.
But this is going to be a little spearhead. This part right here, that I'm going to take a piece of wood and I'm going to cut into it the end, make it look like a little wafer cut. I'm going to set this thing right down in there. I'm going to make 2 little cuts here and here so that I have something to attach to. And so then I'm going to put that in the end of the long, straight staff.
So what are you doing with it, Ben?
That's forge welding. That's when you get two pieces of metal up to the point where they're about to melt, just below that melting point. Put them together, and then you slam them together, and then the additional heat actually welds the two pieces into one shape.
Press more than the slam.
The press?
Press more than the slam. If you press them together, it makes a quality weld if they're the right temperature. For this particular material, you're going to want flux.
I prayed for answers, prayed for rain, and asked forgiveness of what came to me could not be seen. Translation of for not.
Specific metals that we're using are copper and nickel. So this is actually mokamegane as opposed to Damascus, which is steel. We're looking at forging some pieces that are meant to be a part of a knife as opposed to the blade itself.
So don't walk in dreams of iron clasp. Don't starve your spirit soul. Like striking grains against the rasp, your life staggers on.
Part of nature.
Alright, here we go.
Let's do it.
Is that good?
Back and forth. Up and down. Flare up happens. Alright, I want you to pull it out this point, check the straightness.
Pretty good.
Throw it in the water. Shake that money maker and then check the straightness again.
Wow, that's... What's coming off of it?
That's called scale.
It's pretty good. I mean, it's not. It had its problems before, and that problem is still there. It's not a huge problem though, not for my purposes. Take a close look at. Isn't that fantastic? Look at that.
Wow. Ah. So what are you doing now, Gabe?
So now I'm testing the hardness. I took a 60 file and a 55 file. So Ben,
Yeah.
why don't you take this into the bathroom? Soap and water.
Okay.
Just clean it up best you can. Thank you.
Well, let's let Gabe show us some of his old designs. He started designing his own knives. I think that's pretty neat. So, I'm here with my son Gabe, and he's got some knives.
Well, I've just been working on some different ideas, different blade styles, and there's a child behind me.
There she
Luckily, these aren't they may be pointy, but they're not even close to sharp. Yeah, anyways, so I've basically just heat treated this and stuck a couple of scales on there to give the idea of what a handle is going to feel like. And then a few different designs. I've got like a flat back, a drop point. I was thinking of a traditional drop point, but many people, when they hold a knife, they're going to cut in front of them. Well, if they're going to cut something in front of them, why not tilt it a little bit forward to make it easier? A little bit less for your wrist and give you a little bit more control. So that's what I've got as an
Okay.
idea there. I was thinking something like this. The idea being that it would be comfortable to any size hand. So for me, I've got a bigger hand and hold the whole thing. But this little space right here fits my wife's hand just about perfect.
So that's a two-hander.
I don't know, it's just, it's comfortable for everybody.
Okay.
And this is based off of the one that I carry. I really like this design because I think it's pretty. Reminds me of kind of a yin-yang, the way that it slopes like a wave. You know, if it's not pretty, then look back through history. If someone shows you Excalibur from King Arthur, it's gonna evoke some sort of emotion from when you were a child and maybe watched Disney shows. Or katana from Japan and the samurai. It's kind of a cool, it's a part of every culture. You know, there are not very many cultures that stuck with bone tools and rocks, but when it comes down to the most useful tools, you still can't beat a knife. You can do everything with it.
That's neat. Wow.
So, just a couple ideas I'm throwing around right now. I got this wood off of a 130-year-old halibut schooner. It's iron bark, and it is really tough stuff. This is not the kind of wood that floats. So it's fun.
Oh, that's cool. You can use any kind of wood you want.
No.
No.
Everything works differently. You're going to want to use a hardwood, something with good oil content. What I'm going for is just simple quality. The highest quality materials that I can find, and then nothing else. You don't need more stuff. So I've got 80 CRV steel, and then iron bark wood with some brass pins, and that's all.
Okay.
You don't need liners, you don't need spacers, you don't need a whole bunch of fanciness. It's just a knife.
I see. So how did you learn how to do this? How did you learn how to make a knife?
YouTube.
Really? Oh, you're YouTubers that can learn how to make a knife.
For the most part. That and books and
But you've had experience.
whole lot of... Oh yeah, well I've been working with steel for a great many years.
And you've
I just
been-
never really thought about making tools before that weren't marine based.
Cool. I like that, Gabe. Thanks for showing me.
Yeah, no problem.
Well, as you can see, I just really love those men. They're my sons, and I love them. Anyway, thanks for watching. It's pretty interesting. Anyway, till later. I hope you find your yeah. I'm going back to work. So why don't we look at Gabe's So let's take a look at some of Gabe's other designs for his knives. I think that's all.